All right, man. We back. We on 4 agreements. It's the third agreement. Don't make any assumptions. You feel me? So, the third agreement is don't make assumptions. We have the tendency to make assumptions about everything. The problem with making assumptions is that we believe they are true. We could swear they are real. We make assumptions about what others are doing or thinking. We take it personally. Then we blame them and react by sending emotional poison with our word. That is why whenever we make assumptions, we're asking for problems. We make an assumption, we misunderstand, we take it personally, and we end up creating a whole big drama for nothing. See, that's deep. See, it all starts with the way you think. You're making assumptions, thinking wrong, prejudging, being prejudiced, all type of things attract negative in your life or cause you to put negative on other people. Like you assuming just by the way you look at them. That's why you don't take things personal. That's why you speak impeccable. Because things you might say. See, all these fallings, speaking impeccably, that helps that you speak right. You say the right things, the most positive things, the uplifting things, the most powerful things. Then you go to not taking things personal. So you don't take personal what you thinking in your own mind about yourself, that crazy shit, or what you think about other people, or if somebody done something to you or said something, you're not taking it personal because ain't no telling what they're going through. And it can't affect you because you know the truth about your true self. So you can't worry about that. So truth helps with speaking impeccably. Truth helps with not taking nothing personal because you know the truth, you know who you are, you know where you stand, you know who they are, or even you don't know them, but you know at least the truth about yourself. Then making assumptions. That's the thinking. So now you believe in things before they even happen. Fear. Fear is the worst tool to have. The truth is the best tool to have. All the sadness and drama you have lived in your life was rooted in making assumptions and taking things personally. Take a moment to consider the truth of this statement. The whole war of control between humans is about making assumptions and taking things personally. Our whole dream of hell is based on that. That's what make life worse. Assume you're supposed to get this job. Assume you're supposed to be living this life. Assuming this girl's supposed to like you or this guy's supposed to like you or these groups of friends are supposed to be your friends. Assuming that you're supposed to wear this or drive that car. Assuming almost always equal to comparing, but usually assuming it's negative. 9 times out of 10. We create a lot of emotional poison just by making assumptions and taking it personally because usually we start gossiping about our assumptions. Remember, gossiping is the way we communicate to each other in the dream of hell and transfer poison to one another because we are afraid to ask for clarification. We make assumptions and believe we are right about the assumptions. Then we defend our assumptions and try to make someone else wrong. It is always better to ask questions than to make an assumption because assumptions set us up for suffering. Sheesh. See, don't just assume. That's why they say question everything. The only person they say, the only thing not to question is God because they say your understanding level is not high enough to understand what God is doing, which makes sense because even if you talk to your kids, they will understand some of the things you're doing. Like, for example, my mom didn't want us to go over and spend the night over a lot of different people's houses, kids and shit houses. Now I'm grown, got a daughter. I wish my daughter would think she about to just be spending the night over any or everybody's house. Not gonna happen. I don't care what she talking about. But that's kind of negative too, assuming. But it's questioning because I need to talk to them parents. I need to know the truth. I'm not moving on fear. I'm moving off the truth. See, gossiping, that's just talking. That's just, wow. You don't know what's going on. You don't know what's real. You don't know what's fake. Truth, facts, conversation. That's what you have. You don't gossip. You conversate. and question everything, question it all. The big miote in the human mind creates a lot of chaos, which causes us to misinterpret, interpret everything, understand and misunderstand everything. Misinterpret everything and misunderstand everything. We only see what we want to see, and hear what we want to hear. We don't perceive things the way they are. We have the habit of dreaming with with no basis in reality. We literally dream things up in our imaginations because we don't understand something. We make an assumption about the meaning. And when the truth comes out, the bubble of our dream pops, and we find out it was not what we thought it was at all. Dang. See, all them assumptions. Then when you find out the truth, it make your dream pop. Now you, now everything's miscombobulated. Everything's everywhere. It's a million pieces because you just been assuming and wasting time, energy, thoughts, life on this assumption. You should have just found out the truth and moved on quicker. An example, you are walking in the mall and you see a person you like. That person turns to you and smiles, then walks away. You can make a lot of assumptions just because of this one experience. With these assumptions, you can create a whole fantasy, and you really want to believe this fantasy and make it real. A whole dream begins to form just from your assumptions, and you can believe, oh, this person really likes me. In your mind, a whole relationship begins from that. Maybe you even get married in this fantasy land, but the fantasy is in your mind and your personal dream. See? And that's how sometimes stalkers, crazy stuff, they envision that they with you just off something you said on the song, a smile. Even people you have met thought y'all was real friends just because you're a nice person or cool, or think you got intentions far greater than what they expected and exceeding their thought process. But that's what goes on when you assume. It's just assumptions. It's not real. It's not true. But what makes it real is you want it to be real. So when you assume it, think it, now you want it to be real. Yeah, I do know they. Now you thinking you know they feel that way or believe that way because you want them to. Don't assume. Making assumptions in our relationships is really asking for problems. Often we make the assumption that our partners know what we think and that we don't have to say what we want. We assume that they're going to do what we want because they know because they know us so well. If they don't do what we assume they should do, we feel so hurt and say, "You should have known." Well, I'm gonna know. I'm not a mind reader. I don't care how good I know. I don't know when you need it, how you want it. Now I can, be right a couple times. I know you want this because I know you good. But come on, man. You can't just think everybody know everything we want and need every time, especially if we not saying it. Go back to the phrase, closed mouth, don't get what? Don't get fed. Another example, you decide to get married and you make the assumption that your partner sees marriage the same way that you do. Then you live together and you find out this is not true. This creates a lot of conflict, but you still don't try to clarify your feelings about marriage. The husband comes home from work and the wife is mad and the husband doesn't know why. Baby, excuse me, I'm sorry. Maybe it's because the wife made an assumption without telling him what she wants. She makes an assumption that he knows her so well, that he knows what she wants, as if he can read her mind. She gets so upset because he fails to meet her expectations. Making assumptions in relationships leads to a lot of fights, a lot of difficulties, a lot of misunderstandings with people we supposedly love. See, that's the assumption bad part about it. And this is even me assuming. I assume if you love somebody, you wouldn't just do whatever. You would keep asking them, reaffirming that you're doing what they want you to do. You're not just going to do what you want to do for them. But that's me assuming. I don't know. But if I love somebody, I'm going to ask, I'm going to make sure. And of course, for me, learning them, knowing them, and having history with them, of course, it's going to be a time, possibly in my life, where I'm just going to do stuff. But everybody rather get what they want. So it's not wrong with asking. Don't ever feel bad for asking. What have your teacher told you when you was little or growing up in school? Or probably your professor or somebody like that who knows what they tell you. There's never a bad question or a dumb question. In any kind of relationship, we can make the assumption that others know what we think and we don't have to say what we want. They're going to do what we want because they know us so well. If they don't do what we want, what we assume they should do, we feel hurt and think, how could they do that? You should know. Again, we make the assumption that the other person knows what we want. The whole drama is created because we make this assumption and then put more assumptions on top of it. Compiling the assumptions. Because you assuming that, make you assume something else. So you assume they should have known. Now you assuming that they don't really like you as much as you thought. Just conflict on top of conflict, negativity on negativity, just confusion, ball of confusion. You don't want all that. It is very interesting how the human mind works. We have the need to justify everything, to explain and understand everything in order to feel safe. We have millions of questions that need answers because there are so many things that the reasoning mind cannot explain. It is not important if the answer is correct. Just the answer itself makes us feel safe. This is why we make assumptions. Whoo, that's deep, but that's real. Sometimes it don't matter if it's a good or bad answer. You just want an answer. I think that's what a lot of people say. I don't know what I want. I just want. You just want something. Assuming, but that's negativity. Even in religion, you can't do whatever you want. That's why it's commandments. The 10 Commandments. It's laws. It's whatever you got. Amendments, commandments, uh, laws, everything. You can't do what you want because usually what you want to do is not best for you and definitely probably most of the time not best for others. So with that being said, when you assume you're just coming up with something, no matter what it is, just to get it, even if it ain't the thing you want. And what do you do most time when you just get something and it's not the thing you want? You usually turn out bad, throw it away, you get mad at it, break it, give it to somebody else, transferring the energy, linking up. It's all a connection, man. I ain't trying to be too deep. It's just all a connection. However you see it. If others tell us something, we make assumptions. And if they don't tell us something, we make assumptions to fulfill our need to know and to replace the need to communicate. In it, even if we hear something and we don't understand, we make assumptions about what it means and then believe the assumptions. We make all sorts of assumptions because we don't have the courage to ask questions. Whew. See, you fearful. You ain't got the courage to mean you in fear. You can't be scared of what these people gonna say. You can't be scared to get ignored. You can't be scared to get denied, rejected, or told some misinformation. You gotta be able to ask questions. Because even if they tell you some bull, ask somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Don't fall for that. Don't let keep asking questions until you come to the truth, and to the realization of what is true, what is right, what is wrong. These assumptions are made so fast and unconsciously most of the time because we have agreements to communicate this way. We have agreed that it is not safe to ask questions. We have agreed that if people love us, they should know what we want or know how we feel. When we believe something, we assume we are right about it to the point that we will destroy relationships in order to defend our position. Damn. You know what that reminds me of? Sports. You will fall out with somebody if you do the LeBron, Kobe, LeBron, Jordan. Me personally, I say Steph better than LeBron, but that's neither here nor there. You know what I'm saying? But let me say that Steph better than LeBron. I might have to fight two niggas or something. Ain't no telling that. People just assumptions. So you speaking impeccably. So you start speaking life into yourself, positivity into yourself. Start changing your feelings so you could attract better things. So now when you start attracting things and people towards you, you learn what the next agreement. Don't take nothing personally. Don't take the good personally. Don't take the bad. People might could just be good to you to get something from you. Don't take it too personally. Somebody could be doing something mean to you to get something from you. Don't take it personally. You want to stay even. You know the truth. You know right where you at. You know if you this good looking. You know if you this smart. You know if people really shit don't stink. You know if you this ugly. You know if you that dumb. You know what's going on. Figure out the truth. Learn your level. Know where you at. Good or bad. Then you get to assuming. So when people do come with these bad things or these other things, so to help you not take it personally, don't assume. Don't assume, dang, he's just doing this because it's me. They probably got something going on in their house. Even if they did just choose to smack you for no reason, probably just because it's you. Something going on with that person. Maybe it's not directly, you could see the correlation. It affected you, but not even 9 times, 10 times out of 10 times, it's something that's internally building with this person where they affecting you in a positive or negative way. You know what I'm saying? Some people just doing it out the kindness of their heart. That's a plus. But always remember, don't take nothing personal. Then don't assume from what they're doing. Don't assume. Don't put no assumption on it. Don't. Don't assume if you react a certain way to defend yourself or to ignore the situation or remove yourself from the situation. Don't assume what people think, how they look. Now, I know y'all probably think about 48 Laws of Power, math, and all these other books and ways of thoughts and how this might contradict. They all gonna say the same thing. Everything gonna tell you stay calm, move in the right light, pay attention, visualize, don't move off feelings, move off logic. All this stuff saying basically mostly the same thing. Some stuff got more detail, more stories to break it down, give you more examples and tune examples and things like that. This is from what I'm reading. This is like the starter, the real starter to really get you to start understanding how impactful your speech is, how impactful your thoughts is, how impactful your actions is if you act off some of these thoughts and things like that. But we only on the third agreement, so that's what I've been gathering so far. Maybe you got something different. I don't know. We make the assumption that everyone sees life the way we do. We assume that others think the way we think. We feel the way we feel, judge the way we judge, and abuse the way we abuse. This is the biggest assumption that humans make, and this is why we have a fear of being ourselves around others, because we think everyone else will judge us, victimize us, abuse us, and blame us. We do as we do ourselves. So even before others have a chance to reject us, we have already rejected ourselves. This is this is the way the human mind works. See? So you can't take nothing personal. That's why you gotta speak impeccably. Because you speak impeccably, you helping yourself not come up with this crazy shit, tell your own self or victimize yourself. Because you only gonna let another person abuse you the same amount you abuse yourself. That's what we learned in part 1 with the first agreement. So the more you abuse yourself is the more you'll let somebody else abuse you. No more than what you allow your own self to get abused. So don't take nothing personal. You come up with crazy thoughts all day. You listening to music, you watching movies, you hearing gossip, you hearing dumb shit, all type of distractions, things you're seeing just everywhere all the time, all day. So you can't take personal even your own thoughts, what you saying and what you hearing. Then don't assume, because that's the icing on the cake. You assume from what you're hearing, dang, I assume that must be true. I am like that. No, motherfucker, you're not. Come to the realization, come to the truth, get your facts, get your thoughts together. We also make assumptions about ourselves, and this creates a lot of inner conflict. I think I am able to do this. You make this assumption, for instance, then you discover you aren't able to do it. You overestimate or underestimate yourself because you haven't taken the time to ask yourself questions and to answer them. Perhaps you need to gather more facts about a particular situation, or maybe you need to stop lying to yourself about who you truly or about what you truly want. Maybe you need to stop lying to yourself. How about that one? Often when you go into a relationship with someone you like, you have to justify why you like that person. You only see what you want to see, and you deny there are things you don't like about that person. You lie to yourself just to make yourself right. Then you make assumptions, and one of the assumptions is, my love will change this person. But this is not true. Your love will not change anybody. If others change, it's because they want to change, not because you can change them. Then something happens between the two of you and you get hurt. Suddenly, you see what you didn't want to see before. Only now it is amplified by your emotional poison. Now you have to justify your emotional pain and blame them for your choices. Whoo, whoo. Now that was a good one. That was a good one. Your love ain't changing nobody. I don't care how much you love them. I don't care how much you get to know them, man or woman. I can't love this woman and stop being a slut. You can't love this man and stop fucking these hoes. You can't love somebody off addiction. You can't love somebody off gambling. You can't love somebody away from things. Now you can use love as a tool, and that's why you're there, to keep you motivated, to keep trying to help them and get them better. 'Cause sometimes it do work. Sometimes people change. Sometimes people get better. They stop doing the negative shit they be doing and have been doing. Even they've been doing it for years and time again. Or maybe you took them back. Sometimes it stopped. I done seen it with my own two eyes. I didn't stop things I thought I wasn't going to stop. We all probably have, or seen it, or, you know what I'm saying? So you never know, man. We don't need to justify love. It is there or not there. Real love is accepting other people the way they are without trying to change them. If we try to change them, this means we don't really like them. Of course, if you decide to live with someone, if you make that agreement, it's always better to make that agreement with someone who's actually the way you want him or her to be. Find someone whom you don't have to change at all. It is much easier to find someone who's already the way you want him or her to be, instead of trying to change that person. Also, that person must love you just the way you are, so he or she doesn't have to change you at all. If others feel they have to change you, that means they really don't love you just the way you are. So why be with someone if you're not the way he or she wants you to be? Listen, don't fall for that trap, man. Don't fall for that. Because they telling the truth. You want somebody to be exactly who they are and true to themselves and things like that. Of course, that's the number one thing. But assuming some people read this, they helping somebody for the better. They'll stop thinking, or somebody could try to use this for name. You don't love me for real. You supposed to want me to what? No. If you gonna fucking die because you're getting too fat, or you're doing something that's detrimental to the whole damn family, or to me and you both, then no. We need to change you, motherfucker, for the better. Not change a whole who you are, but change those bad habits or bad tendencies or negative things that's impacting us in the wrong way. So watch that. Because people will try to slick what they slick ass and try to use, if you don't love me, you don't want me to be who exactly I am. No, I want you to be exactly who you is, but the better version of you, the best version of you. Slick motherfucker. We have to be what we are, so we don't have to present a false image. If you love me the way I am, okay, take me. If you don't love me the way I am, okay, bye-bye. Find someone else. It may sound harsh, but this kind of communication means the personal agreements we make with others are clear and impeccable. Just imagine the day that you stop making assumptions with your partner and eventually with everyone else in your life. Your way of communication will change completely, and your relationship will no longer suffer from conflicts created by mistaken assumptions. See, positive. Start trying to implement it. Stop making assumptions. The way to keep yourself from making assumptions is to ask questions. Make sure the communication is clear. If you don't understand, ask. Have the courage to ask questions until you are clear as you can be. Even then, do not assume you know all there is to know about a given situation. Once you hear the answer, you will not have to make assumptions because you will know the truth. Also, find your voice to ask what you want. Everybody has the right to tell you no or yes, but you always have the right to ask. Likewise, everybody has the right to ask you, and you have the right to say yes or no. See, ask. Even after you get the goddamn answer you want, ask again. Ask until you get the truth. In all of life, from what I'm seeing from this book, from religion, from other self-help coaches, the truth. Fear is your worst enemy. The truth is your best friend, your greatest ally. The truth is your greatest ally. Fear is your nemesis, arch rival, enemy, worst supervillain, the Joker. You know what I'm saying? That's what fear is. The truth is Batman. You know what I'm saying? Super Saiyan Goku. You know what I'm saying? Keep the truth. Also find, okay, we did that one. If you don't understand something, it is better for you to ask and be clear instead of making assumptions. Okay. If you don't understand something, it is better for you to ask and be clear instead of making an assumption. The day you stop making assumptions, you will communicate cleanly and clearly, free of emotional poison. Without making assumptions, your word becomes impeccable. With clear communication, all of your relationships will change, not only with your partner, but with everyone else. You won't need to make assumptions because everything becomes so clear. This is what I want. This is what you want. If we communicate in this way, our word becomes impeccable. If all humans could communicate in this way, with impeccability of the word, there would be no wars, no violence, no misunderstandings. All human problems would be resolved if we could just have good, clear communication. Damn, now that's deep. You see how this third one tie into speaking impeccable, because you don't make assumptions. And you think clearly, you'll start speaking impeccable, because you won't be thinking assuming something negative. So you'll be speaking positive, asking questions, find out the truth. But that's crazy because speaking impeccable is also what will have you, speaking impeccable will also have you stopping to make assumptions because you're speaking positive. You're not speaking, maybe they doing it, you know? All this stuff helps each other. But that was crazy how it all tied back in full circle like that. This, then, is the third agreement. Don't make assumptions. Just saying this sounds easy, but I understand that it is difficult to do. It is difficult because we so often do exactly the opposite. We have all these habits and routines that we are not even aware of. Becoming aware of these habits and understanding the importance of this agreement is the first step. But understanding its importance is not enough. Information or an idea is merely the seed in your mind. What will really make the difference is action. Taking the action over and over again strengthens your will, nurtures the seed, and establishes a solid foundation for the new habit to grow. After many repetitions, these new agreements will become second nature, and you will see how the magic of your word transform you from a black magician into a white magician. See, don't use black magic towards yourself or anyone you love, or basically don't use it at all. That's demon. If you if you believe in God like I do, that's some demon stuff, using that magic. Black magic and all that, white magic, any magic. You using magic, that's some demon shit. Don't use no magic. But speak positively, speak in the faith of God, speak in the faith of yourself, the betterment of God. Everything you should do should be able, God should be able to look at you and be like, there go my son acting right. Everything you say and do, you should be able to look at yourself and be like, I'm proud of what I said, I'm proud of my decisions I'm making, everything I do. That's how you're supposed to look at life, categorize life, value life, and move by life. God first, then yourself. And then what do your family think about the things you made? And make sure you don't take nothing personal. You speak impeccable. You don't make assumptions. And you keep going. Now, that's only the first three agreements. There's one more left, the fourth one. And that's the one that's, I guess, going to tie all this in together. But we're going to get to that one. All right. A white magician uses the word for creation, giving, sharing, and loving. By making this one agreement a habit, your whole life will be completely transformed. See, when you transform your whole dream, magic just happens in your life. What you need comes to you easily because spirit moves freely through you. This is the mastery of intent, the mastery of the spirit, the mastery of love, the mastery of gratitude, and the mastery of life. This is the goal of the Toltec, and this is the path to personal freedom. See, change the way you speak, change the way you think, change the way you think, change the way you feel, change the way you feel. Change is what attracts to you. And all this stuff attracts to you. The bag gets attracted to you. Sometimes not even by yourself. It be the environment you in. You get attracted to it, but that changes things you're saying, speaking, because you're in that environment. So it's all about what attracts to you and doesn't attract to you. Speak impeccably. Don't take anything personal. Don't make no assumptions. Now it's hard, but take the steps, the small steps, trying. The more you repeat it, the better you get at it. The more you try it, better, the more it gets implemented in your life and you can use it more. And now it's not even just getting used, it's just the way of your life. It's the way you doing and the way you thinking. So don't worry about none of that past stuff or none of the bull. Well, that's 3 agreements down. We got one more to go. So tomorrow or whenever I get back to y'all, we're going to start the 4th agreement, chapter 5. Always do your best. That's going to be a good one right there. I could tell. That's a thick chapter. Pause. We're going to get to that. So like, subscribe, comment. I don't care if you boo me. Whatever you do, you can put all jokes on there. Just get the action cracking. Thank you.